Right now, Cameron and Cayden Boozer are dominating the college basketball landscape as high-profile elite prospects for Duke University. They carry a massive athletic pedigree, inheriting the court vision and physical presence of their father, former NBA All-Star and Olympic gold medalist Carlos Boozer. But despite all their current physical dominance and the heavy hype surrounding their future in the NBA, their most important play actually happened the day they were born. Their existence is a successful, high-stakes experiment in human engineering designed specifically to save a life. To understand why, we have to rewind to 2006. Before the twins were even a thought, Carlos and his wife Cece faced a nightmare scenario. Their first son, Carmani, was diagnosed in the womb with sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell is caused by a single genetic point mutation. It triggers a catastrophic structural failure, causing normally round red blood cells to collapse into rigid, sharp crescent shapes that jam together inside narrow veins and deprive the body of oxygen. For Carmani, this meant a childhood defined by chronic pain, the constant threat of severe organ damage, and a life expectancy significantly shorter than his peers. Standard treatments like blood transfusions could only manage the symptoms. A true cure required a bone marrow transplant, but neither Carlos nor Cece were viable donor matches. They needed a medical solution that simply did not exist yet. The Boozers turned to the controversial savior-sibling strategy. This involves in vitro fertilization combined with pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, basically fertilizing eggs in a lab and screening the embryos to intentionally identify a child who is both disease-free and a perfect biological donor match. Looking at the animated breakdown of the procedure, the biological math started with doctors harvesting exactly 34 eggs from Cece. The first critical filtration isolated the fertilized embryos to find the ones completely free of the sickle cell mutation. Out of 34, only 10 healthy embryos made it through. Then came the most restrictive hurdle, analyzing those 10 healthy embryos for an exact human leukocyte antigen, or HLA, match. The HLA proteins act as a genetic signature for the immune system, and the scan found exactly 2 perfect matches. This selection removed chance from the equation. Cameron and Cayden were genetically screened and chosen because their DNA provided the exact match required for Carmani's transplant. Immediately upon the twins' birth in July 2007, doctors harvested stem cells directly from their umbilical cord blood, which is incredibly rich in blood-forming progenitors. Meanwhile, Carmani endured a grueling preparation phase. At barely a year old, he underwent 10 intensive days of chemotherapy to completely eradicate his own defective bone marrow. What followed was a 40-day isolation period in a sterile environment to prevent infection. Doctors infused the twin stem cells into Carmani's bloodstream, waiting for them to slowly engraft and begin producing healthy blood. The procedure took hold. By May 2008, doctors declared Carmani completely cured of sickle cell disease. The infant twins had essentially replaced their older brother's foundational immune and blood systems with their own. During the 2000s, IVF selection triggered fierce bioethical debates. The process created intense friction over the morality of treating human embryos as medical commodities. Cece Boozer has been open about her deep internal struggle with this. She admitted to feeling a heavy sense of guilt, fearing that the twins were initially conceived out of desperation for Carmani rather than a desire for them. It highlighted a massive philosophical divide, the utilitarian benefit of saving a dying child versus the argument that parents were overstepping by selecting which embryos were desirable and discarding the rest. The Boozer family willingly absorbed that profound moral and psychological weight. For them, human engineering was the absolute only path available to preserve their son's life. Fast forward to the present day, and Carmani, once confined to a sterile hospital room, is a healthy, active adult pitching collegiate baseball. Cameron has forged his own elite identity on the court, stepping entirely out of his father's shadow to become a top-tier basketball star. Cayden is right there with him. The brothers are expanding their personal brands off the court, parlaying their healthy sibling rivalry into national commercial spots. Despite highly engineered beginnings designed specifically to serve someone else, all 3 brothers are now fiercely defining their own autonomous futures. They regularly joke about their unique dynamic. Carmani likes to remind the twins they were only born because he was sick, while still maintaining a deep, lifelong gratitude for what they did. Cameron openly accepts his origin story, noting that he and his brother were born for a purpose, and that saving Carmani is the ultimate tie that binds them together. Today, medicine is shifting toward non-invasive gene editing, but the Boozer family's decision stands as a successful early application of pre-implantation screening to cure a previously terminal condition. Cameron and Cayden may go on to win NCAA national titles or dominate the NBA draft, but their most important legacy was permanently secured the very moment they took their first breath.